I still remember the day I met Johnny. Just Johnny. I never did learn his last name. He always said he didn't have one. Johnny was unlike anyone else in town. He always, without fail, wore a pair of khaki cargo shorts and one of a half dozen obnoxiously colorful Hawaiian shirts. He always left the top unbuttoned to show off his tanned physique. He stood out. He seemed like he would have been more at home in Miami or maybe Fort Lauderdale. He was also the only other person there who seemed to notice how weird Yustaga was. He was older than me, but not by much. He smoked pot habitually, but he didn't act like any stoner I'd ever known. Maybe that was because he never smoked without also downing 2 mugs of black coffee and a can of PBR. He called it the triple tap. Johnny was insistent that the triple tap was not, in fact, an ill-advised example of chemical dependence, but a carefully crafted formula for communing with the town. Now, that sounded like bullshit to me, but I can't argue with its results. I didn't meet Johnny until mid-autumn. He had been away for business reasons, I assumed, maybe in South Florida. I remember that morning I was getting a cup of coffee like I did every morning, and he just came up to me, shook my hand, and said, "Good to meet you. You're the seer, aren't you?" The ensuing conversation was a whirlwind. He told me everything he knew about town, and I showed him what I had figured out. He told me about the Tall Father, the Livestone Queen, and what he knew of their respective pantheons. He told me about the other figure, the Oracle, the one who dreams, writes in code, and speaks to the seer alone. I showed him my notebook, pages upon pages of coded messages. The Oracle's work, it turned out. Then we came upon the topic of how Johnny knew all of this. He told me that he could feel the town the same way I could see it. I had to figure things out and solve puzzles. Worked differently for him. Understanding just flowed into him like a creek flowing into a basin. But his understanding was somewhat limited to what was and what is now. My role as the seer, he said, was to understand what would be, what had not yet come to pass. To puzzle through the Oracle's codes and find the truth. I wondered why